What's up guys, welcome back to my kitchen and welcome back to another Forex Friday. This week we saw some good moves in the Forex market. Equities were a little bit quiet, but today is Friday. We had NFP which beat expectations and stocks are moving higher. So I want to go over some of the trades that I took this week. We had a couple wins, a couple losses. I think you guys will be able to learn a thing or two from this week. I know I have, and yeah. So if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. And with all that being said, let's get right into the charts. So the first we're going to go over that I took this week was a buy on EURNZD that you can see here. I may have actually taken it last Friday. I can't remember when it first triggered, but I've continued to hold it throughout the week. The reasons for taking this trade was it was a round number at 1.67. There was trendline third touch, as you can see here, and it was also the 78.6 fib. So I've continued to hold this throughout the week, and it turned out to be a pretty good swing trade. It's starting to pull back now, so I've taken partials along the way, but I do think that we're going to make a new high. It's actually tough to say fundamentally. There's some strong data that came out of Europe this week, and so that moved the pair higher. The New Zealand dollar has also been strong lately, so that's something to keep in mind. Fundamentally, it's not 100% clear as to where the pair is going since they're both relatively strong. The price action has been bullish, so I think we could see more upside here. So I'm going to continue to hold it and maybe look to add a position on the pullback, but trade has been a couple hundred pips that I'm happy with. The next trade I want to go over is GA, and this has been a really interesting pair for me this week because I started off the week by shorting it, which worked very well, and then I actually took a buy right as I closed my sell, and that's also worked quite well. So I'll start off with the short. I'm going to drop down time frames onto the 1 hour. Now I don't typically even look at the 1 hour, but on this trade I did, and it turned out pretty well. So the reason for taking it was there was this trend line coming down, and it looked to me that the pair was due for a correction. So I originally entered on the 61 fib after watching the price actions here, but I did want to have a wide enough stop loss to include the 78.6 fib and also this trend line in case the market came up higher to grab any orders. So that's exactly what happened. So after entering, we did drop, but then overnight we had a bit of a pound push, but it was a liquidity grab and pair pushed much lower. So again, the reasons for taking it is there was a trend line touched the bearish price action, the 61 fib, and then there was also a few different moving averages there. So that's why I took that, and then I closed it right at this area here, which I've been looking to take a buy at for maybe 2 weeks now. So we've developed this strong sideways channel where we have this trend line coming up here, and so it was a third touch, and then we also had this really strong key level where we had touches here, touches here, touches here, and here. So you could see that the market tends to react very strongly to this level. There's orders being faced, buy orders and sell orders, and so being in the short, I knew that institutions were likely to take profits at this level and that we may move higher. So I took the buy here. It was also a 78.6 fib, I believe. Yeah, it was also the 78.6 fib, so that's been working well. Taking partials along the way. We started to drop on Friday, but I may look to add another position. And before we head over to the last pair, gold, I want to show you where I added a second position on this trade. So the second position that I took was at this green line here, which was 82856, which was at the 38 fib. And so as you can see, it was the 38 fib, but there was also some moving averages here as well. There was the 200 moving average and the 200 EMA. So I felt strongly that we were going to continue to move higher, and so I moved my initial position stop loss to break even, and then I added a position there. So it worked very well. And like I said, I'm still in the trade, but I've taken partials along the way, so there's nothing to worry about. So the last pair that I want to go over is gold, and gold this week has been interesting. As you can see here, it's been pretty up and down. This Friday morning, we had an NFP, which again missed expectations, and so the US dollar dropped and gold moved higher as a consequence. And so the first trade that I took this week was a short. I took a couple of shorts actually. So the first short that I took was around this area here. So I was looking to take a short at the 61 fib, but we just missed it. So after getting this candle printed, this bearish candle, I entered a trade with my stop loss at the 88.6 bit. What happened was we did drop lower, but we didn't manage to break this support level, and so I took partials and then I moved my stops to break even. I got stopped out at break even. Now my initial pending was at 1904.5 and 1905.5, so these two green lines here, and I kept my pendings with the stop at 88.6. We actually came up and hit those pendings, so I re-entered the trade. The price action on the lower time frames on the 1 hour chart was looking good, but it was only temporary, and then it moved higher before dropping lower. So I actually only closed that trade at break even. I didn't make any profit on it, and it's too bad because we came up one more time. Institutions were pushing the price up to get their best entry price to stop out retail traders, and then boom, it just dropped like crazy. So it's just an interesting one that I learned a lot from this week, just watching to see how price action is reacting and how institutions are working around certain levels in order to get the best price. This morning we're seeing some bullish price action on gold, but we'll see what happens. So that's it for this week, guys. Let me know in the comment section how you did this week, if you took any of the same trades, and what you're looking out for next week. And with all that being said, I will see you next Friday. Peace.